Preparing to live stream the meeting.
Hardest part yesterday was not being able to inhale.
Inhale. What?
I had to keep puffing and just let
We're
the smoke
live.
flow out.
Here we're live. There we are. Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome to Puffcast. I'm Joey, also known as Puff Mama, and with me is Naomi Poley,
also known as Ganja Grandma.
Ganja Grandma. I think it's with one M.
I moan, which is my name backwards.
It is. On Instagram, she is I moan for green. Mm-hmm. I love that one. Well, anyway, feel free to say anything on the chat and say hi to Naomi when you join. Some people will be joining later. Some people are joining now.
And if I don't respond, it's because I can't see a damn thing.
You didn't bring your glasses?
I think somewhere, but I still wouldn't be able to see it. I can go get them, but it's fine.
Well, you can get them. Anyway, this is us here. It's a bit of a delay. Mm-hmm. How that works.
I see that.
Anyway, we're hanging out today. I'm doing a very special edition of Puffcast. I was going through old news articles of mine and thought, you know what, it would be fun to go over these old articles with someone who's been there since the beginning and has witnessed our downfall, and we'll see our rise again. So cheers.
So I gotta stick around, I guess.
You gotta stick around to see their eyes, baby. You know you're gonna have your chair there. Okay, so these chairs literally that we're sitting on were in a specific corner in the club. We used to make a joke that it was like Naomi's chair, and if she ever walked in, you'd have to get out. And people who didn't know, I would say that to, knowing that she might come, and I'd be like, it's like Norm in Cheers, you know. Only we have Naomi. So it was only for those big shows where I knew we'd be so packed. But I thought it was funny that we would do. I don't know. Did I ever tell you we did that? I think I did.
I think you did. Yeah. And if you didn't tell them, I told them. So.
Yeah, really. I need this chair.
I think you had. Well, you did have the reserve for.
Do you need a pillow, lumbar?
No, I'm good.
Action.
Okay, I might go get my glasses though. So might make life a little easier.
We actually knew Naomi before the club even.
Mm-hmm.
I think we met at G13. Some people who don't know, yes. G13 back in the day was where you go to get your sacrament. They were a church, and you joined the church, and you were part of this community. And it was great for a while until cops decided that wasn't so cool.
Well, I was excommunicated. It wasn't the first church that kicked me out.
Well, that's beside the point. I just remember smoking mad weed with you in the backyard there.
Yeah.
This cute garden that they had. And
that furniture that the kids made.
Yeah.
That was so cute.
Yeah, it was a great place.
I keep meaning to go see Susie.
And then hanging it. Yeah, Susie's been showing up online. Hi, Susie.
Hi, Susie Starsky. Miss you. I'm not sure if you're as mobile, but you could come over to my place, okay? Not that far.
You say that to everybody.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is that everyone takes you up and your place is always full of life. I love it.
Well, that's what my home, that's how I was raised. Like every kid in the neighborhood was at my place. And when I had my kids, all the kids in the neighborhood said we ate weird food. Because I used to make African peanut soup and stuff like that, and peanut stew.
Yeah, but in the East Coast, she's from the Gas Bay. So the East Coast, though. Or actually, no, your kids were here, too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, anyway.
It was they were born in Halifax, and then we went to the town of Oxford. So they can say they went to school in Oxford.
Oxford educated.
Yes.
And your daughters have been a big part of the underground as well. Holly was a big part of things till she moved out east, and Chelsea from the beginning. I don't know what I would have done without Chelsea's support and help. I love you, Chel.
Yeah.
Right from the beginning, she's been there too.
Chelsea,
since
Polly's,
G13.
Polly was the one that
Chelsea worked
introduced
for me. If you guys
actually.
don't remember, Chelsea worked for me, and Oscar's driving me nuts. And at the beginning, it was difficult to work for me because we weren't allowed to smoke weed. So we'd have this like hemp shop at the front, and then we at the beginning we'd have all the lights off, and Chelsea or whoever would be working at the front would sit there in the dark, just like, no, we're not open. And, like, people, and then we're like, okay, we're cool. So we would just leave the shop open late. And then it got crazier and crazier. Anyway,
well, the cops
I haven't
did
forgotten
show
those
up.
days of loyalty, Joe. Sitting in the dark when I fucking hate this job.
I'll never ever forget when you had your anklet on.
Oh, we don't talk about that days.
Jewelry.
We don't want to talk about those days.
Special jewelry.
Anyway.
And because at the end of the show, all these people spilled out onto the sidewalk to smoke their
that first
cigarettes.
Show, yeah.
And this had been a really big show. Like, I had a friend there.
Brian O'Gorman was there.
Yeah, Brian O'Gorman did his Full Monty act that night.
That was one of his full.
Yeah. And it was an awesome,
crazy,
successful night. And the place was just like it was a cloud.
Yeah, you couldn't see.
And there was a rod that went across that separated, like, to go up to the event space, you had to climb up 3 stairs.
This was the first location, not the second location.
This is the first location.
We were only there a year and a half.
And we had a piano.
Oh my God, I need to hit my bomb.
Hi, sister. She used to come and play piano there. And
yep, the piano.
So
we had little vaporizers on the tables. It was really cute.
So that evening, these 2 rookie cops thought they better investigate what was going on in this place that had so many people out in front of it. So they walked in. Joey left through the back entrance. Anyways, we had Casey.
I booked out because I was afraid of getting in trouble, but I immediately got on the phone and called from across the street. I was there. I was like, you guys got this, right?
Let me get on with the story.
Really, I ditched everyone.
I did. I said you left. Not ditched. There was a certain reason.
Okay. Anyway, so you and Chelsea and Casey and Brian
happened was
dealt with that.
Yeah. Well, the cops came in and Chelsea hit them with her rights, and so they called in their superior. And meanwhile, we're in the back, and
I was on the phone with them at this point.
And Mark, this friend of ours, decided he'd go and defend these 2 girls against these cops. And he's standing at the top step, and he's about to open his mouth, and he realizes he's got a pound of weed in his in his backpack. So he turns around and tells us they're coming in, get out. Well, I've never seen people move so fast in my life. The back door jammed and they ended up kicking it open.
It wasn't, they just didn't know how to turn the handle.
Turn the handle.
In a panic, just,
God, yeah. And so I had Angie with me, and Angie was wearing high heels and this bright mustard coat, okay, which she proceeded to turn inside out because they might see her. And we're running down, and I'm thinking, why am I running? So I went around to the front, and everybody put their weed in my purse because I was legal. So I went around to the front, opened my car.
This was 13 years ago. It was a different world, okay?
There's
a reason for this panic.
Threw my purse in the car and went in, and they said, sorry, but I said, my daughter's here, and I'm coming to pick her up. So I went in, and I went across and stood and watched these guys hit on Chelsea and Casey Ann because they got
had blue hair then.
They got so high their supervisor came and all they wanted to see was a business license, and Chelsea couldn't find it, so they said they'd come back, which I don't think they ever did.
No, and I even know, I told her it is in the top drawer, taped in the top drawer. She was looking through all of the papers. I'm like, you said to pull the top drawer, it's taped there.
Anyways, so their supervisor told the two cops to go sit in their car for 10 minutes so they could be sober enough to drive.
I think it was 20.
Yeah, 20 minutes, something like that. And we all calmed down. But in the meantime, I'm standing in front of me under, Joey had a Tiffany lamp, and the lamp was lit to highlight the most beautiful bud you've ever seen in your life.
They didn't know what to do with us.
They didn't know what. They were just so, because it was that era where, was it?
I just sat there. I was on the bench across the street. There was a bar called Hilo across the street, and I was just sitting there. And I was like on the phone like the whole time. Chelsea just kept putting the phone down, and I don't think she was telling them that I was on the phone.
Yeah, no.
Just but that, I was connected, and I just remember these long silences and being like, "What the fuck is going on in there?"
It should have been in a comedy. Okay, it was like the raid on Kindred, that sort of thing.
Oh my God!
Like cops get so confused.
Okay, well, Kindred, and they're fucking crazy milkshakes. Okay, guys, anyone remember Kindred Cafe? Kindred Cafe, let me tell you, was Paul says hi.
Hi, Paul.
Kindred Cafe was at third floor. This is before me. They opened first of this beautiful like old house sort of building just off Young Street. And this beautiful rooftop patio and this nice furniture, and it was kind of like in the know. And then it got busier and busier, and then tourists started going, and then it just got crazy. And it was like watching them go through this, and the shakes they'd make. People like us could handle it because you know that if you pay $13 for a shake, are you going to drink that in 2 minutes? No, you're going to sip that shit. And there'd be people just greening out and having a good old time, but we all knew they were fine.
Problem is
certain times of day you knew when all the pros were there. There was just a certain time in the afternoon.
Happened at 5:30, 6 o'clock. I'd go stop at a certain compassion club and pick up the cook at the time. Hi, Jim.
Hi, Jim.
And with all the brownies that went into the those milkshakes, and those milkshakes weren't made with weed butter, folks. They were made with oil butter.
Oh man, they were so strong.
They were very strong, very effective.
It was nice. Just sip away at that. If you were smart.
But what happened was this big American guy came out after going to a few bars and
Oscar, come and lay down.
Swallows down a milkshake and goes to go to the bathroom and passes out at the top of the stairs. And the investigation, like one of our friends, hi Josh, showed me the police report and the investigation, that how they decided to raid the place. They had people smuggle out milkshakes.
And there was no takeout on these milkshakes. No, they had to sneak them in their coats, I guess, or whatever. Like dump them in a shade. How the fuck they get it out?
It didn't help that there was a movie spread all over the internet about the place, and talking about the police station was right around the corner. It was revolutionary
at the time.
Very
when you
revolutionary.
Look back, you're like, Jesus Christ, balls deep, man.
And right up
that gave me the balls to do what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Thanks, Dom.
I'm not gonna lie.
Dom had another place. He had a head shop up the street and decided to give a friend of ours, I think with your suggestion, was a good one. When down, he was coming up from Hamilton.
Goodwin had up and spoke then.
Yeah. No. But he came and started managing Paper Central and switched it all around. Like,
yeah, I think VC was open for like a year or two before.
It was
Goodwin became.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give him that. He made it what it is.
Yeah. It was when I first went to what was then Vapor Central. It was basically a rack of magazines on one side, a glass blowing station by the windows, and I paid $50 for a class that I never took. And there was a bit of a head shop with a counter on the left side, and there was a wall that separated the rest of the area. So when Chris came in, he renovated the whole place. He took the wall down. He got a really nice bar that he got through salvage, because everybody in that business does salvage. You have to, you know. So, and it ended up being a great place, and lots of history there, but not as the comedy shows could never compare. Mike Rita's maybe,
all right.
but not with your comedy show.
Let's get into what.
Let's get
the guts
back
of
to
what
comedy.
I was doing is that I made this thing here. I'm gonna put this here now, so I've got some space.
He's still in my little lighter.
I do, because I don't know where
I keep ending up
my
closer
lighter
and
is.
closer to yours.
It's not anywhere.
I've got a second one somewhere.
All right. Well, I have one. Okay, so I made this thing a long time ago. Oh man, I wish I was more prepared. Because I've been in a lot of news articles. Okay, this is where I wish I had it all digital. Well, we'll start with that. This was
That's beautiful.
This was in the bathroom.
Everybody loves food.
Okay, I'll pull this one out for y'all. Okay, that was in the guy's bathroom because I wanted them to, you know, just be happy when they were in there. And that was me, but I was like 23, so they don't look like that now. But I was proud of that photo.
What is
anyway.
that there?
It's a shadow.
Okay.
But now I have
So
a
it looks
paw.
like another boob.
I have a paw on top of the tattoo there. Okay, so this was the one that really. Okay, my first article ever is that I got into the National Post, and it's 2005. I'm gonna put my glasses on now. Found your glasses too. Us old ladies put our glasses so we can see. Anyway, I have one that you can maybe see. Fuck, I didn't think this through. I should have like a camera on here. But I could do this maybe. Okay, so there's a National Post, and I'm down here. It says weed cookies like Grandma used to make, and then on the inside there's this whole article about me making weed cookies. And this photo here, you can't really see it, guys. I'm gonna have to post pictures online of this later, but it's me. I didn't want to identify myself then, so I put 2 cookies over my eyes, and they took that. So that's what that picture is. That's me, but it's 2 weed cookies in front of my eyes, so I can't be identified. But 2005, like that was quite a while ago.
Yes. Oh my God, how many years?
And I've been going for a while. It's just this was the first public time. Anyway, so this was a Now Magazine article. This one I can pull it because I have a second. I think I could thank Matt Myrna for this one. Puff Mama's Secret Ganja Buffet cover now. I used to do weed buffets.
Where's that?
Right there.
Ah.
Okay, I should point out in fine print, it's not this dude. It's me on the cover of Now. Okay, I'm 5 words on the cover of Now.
That's
Now it's not even that important. But it was just about like the Latvian shows that I used to do.
Who's your Puff Mama?
Yeah, Myrna wrote it.
Marijuana March organizers numb down at Mama's
Secret Ganja Buffet.
Secret Ganja Buffet.
Okay, so before I opened the club, I used to rent out this hall, and it was these Latvian people that owned it. And what we would do is we would just rent it out, put on comedy shows, put on weed buffets. Like sometimes there'd be like donations, so there'd be nuggets on the tables. Sometimes there'd be a musician. Oscar, you're ruining it. Come and like over here. Anyway, that was before I opened the club. And you're ruining. Do you want to go in your room? He hates going in there. I want you to sit down. Here. Here you go.
He's objecting to me smoking a joint.
No, he wants the treats and he's not getting them fast enough. I want him to wait. Okay, so thing is we'd rent these halls and we'd have really great parties for like 7 years, and that's what this article was about. Those shows were crazy.
Oh, those were awesome. I remember the Peace Summit.
Yep, he was part of that.
We had the women's circle, and we all told our stories.
Oh, there's that too. That was a whole different thing.
That was a very, very special weekend. And that Latvian house had vendors from the top floor right through it, didn't it?
Yeah, no, because you could rent out one room, or you could rent out, like they had 2 rooms on the upper floor. You could rent out 2 or 3 rooms. So most of the time we just rent the main room, but then when
all
we
the people
do
from
bigger
West
events,
came, and that's when I met Mark Emery. And I asked him if I heard that he was gay. And he told me to take me into the bathroom.
Okay, that bathroom was fucking ghetto there. You know what I liked about that guy? He did not give a fuck what we did. So the first few times we did it was just be comedy. And then sometimes we'd have a bit of music, or we'd have burlesque girls. But after the first show, he came up upstairs where we were, and he was like, hey, how did you get away with your party was like so much smoke, and how did you get away with it? And I just looked at him. I said, it's private property. I got away with it because you didn't call cops. And he was like, oh, why would I call cops? I like you. And then we're going to have a great relationship here. I'm going to rent from you. I'm going to smoke all the weed I want, and you're all...
Oh, that was a great place.
It's torn down now.
Yeah. It even had a great parking lot.
But they kept the condo.
They had barbecues out in the parking lot.
That was one time. Mm-hmm. Anyway, let's keep going. Okay, so I don't know if you remember Gooey. Gooey wrote this article. This was like... Yeah. Okay, so this is in Weed World magazine. Weed World is... It's UK.
Dude, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's an American writer. Yeah. Anyway, Puff Mama gets baked, it says right here. Yeah. Okay, we'll keep going. Okay, so here's a skunk thing. I don't know where the article part went. It's missing. Okay, well, I paid for this back cover. This is when I sold a lot of weed cookies, when you could buy back covers of magazines. You sold a lot of weed cookies. Another back cover, a magazine, Cannabis Culture, which also wrote an article. Well, me and Mr. Cookie were in there.
Yeah, Mr. Cookie's out in BC now, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
I remember Mr. Cookie and I went in your place to my first hemp fest.
Hemp fest, wow. Okay, I have fucking posters back here. Okay, so here's...
TikTok time to walk.
Yeah, that's where we all met there.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's keep going here. These are all just skunk things. Little mention, nothing big. High times. Oh, this is that cup on the cruise. Okay, so you were on that.
Yeah.
You were there.
Picture.
There's this. Okay, we were in a big boat that we rented. I didn't rent. We were there. Yeah. And judged some weed on a boat with some fun people.
Yeah, but.
Okay, so here's another. You're in this picture, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so page 1, open it up, and then there's like a picture of all of us. There's all of us girls on the boat that used to go. Tracy's in that picture too. Tracy Curley, shout out.
It's kind of funny because
butterflies right there.
How you were given your weed to judge.
You can't see.
Was put in your hand.
Do you like it? Sure.
I couldn't even roll.
These guys had it in little baggies. But I think they were also giving extras. Anyway, more pictures from that.
Yeah. Those are the stickers, aren't they?
Okay, so when I was cool, Cannabis Culture did a bunch of top 100 activists, and there's a tiny dot in that picture. That's me. No, there's 100 faces. They're all, tiny dots.
I'm not in there.
I don't even know where I am there.
Because I don't know.
Oh, there I am right there. Pop in. Okay. And that's more, I don't even know what that is. Oh, that's just flyers. Okay, so that's
The Principal.
More. Oh, I have a thing down there. No big deal.
Entertainment?
I guess not your average comedy joint. Okay, so here's the first article I have about me and my weed-friendly comedy club.
Star.
And that was 2009, baby.
Yes.
2009.
She made it to the Star.
On the same page as mentioned as Paula Abdul's on the same page.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm in this, I'm pretty sure. I'm in that. Okay, now we're done the articles. Okay, so this was, I had to put these in there. Do you guys remember Dangerous Dan's was the burger joint that we used to eat a lot of food at their place, but they would have like the greasiest burgers, but stoner friendly burgers. They would have little pot leaves on the menu next to the thing. So they had like my favorite was the serial killer sandwich, he called it, but it was basically it was like wrapped in cereal, like cornflakes, I think, and like
pre-meal
bacon and cheese and chicken, and it was goddamn good. Anyway, they put that on a bun, hence the cereal. It was delish.
And it killed.
They had the Elvis burger, had peanut butter and bacon on the goddamn burger. Anyway, they also had this coronary burger, which was like yay high, and you get your picture on the wall if you could manage to eat it.
And the seats.
Anyway,
were old car seats, old tractor seats. It was an amazing place.
Okay, these tables, guys, right here, these wooden tables, I scored from them. They have really nice wrought iron bottoms. Actually, they're nice. They were at the club for a long time. To go with the car seats. I didn't take those fucking car seats. I'm like, y'all take those tables. They're nice. I scrubbed them down because they smelled like grease for weeks. Okay, so I had to show off these posters because, guys, they did a campaign years and years ago, long before they closed down, obviously. But those are my hands. Anyway, I was a hand model for Dangerous Dan's with the burger, and yes, I got to keep the burgers that I modeled for. You can see, you can't. I'm not pulling it up. I have a legalized regulate bracelet. I tried to get them in the shot. Okay, guys, I was a hand model for one. He was stuck. He called me, and I'm like, I'm fucking come. So now, okay, these are just a collection of posters, but I just put a bunch there, and I just put ones on but there's like Shelley Marshall, who's out east.
She has
who's got this pharmacy spelled with a F, like a farm, but it's your medicine, so it's the pharmacy.
Yes.
Anyway, but she used to do shows here, and that's one of her posters. Anyway,
she does shows down there.
Yeah, she started. Okay, this was the one she started doing. She did it once at my club, and then it got big. But this is an amazing play.
Yeah,
it's sort of about her life. So that's an old.
I've seen it up here at her loft.
She did a lot at her loft. Fuck, it was mind blowing.
Yeah,
and it's a great perspective when you see where comedians are coming from, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, they're crazy," and we don't know why. Just writing jokes about
usually
their crazy families.
A lot of people who are comics have a lot of tragedy in their lives because that's how.
Or just weird families.
Yeah, well, I got one of those.
Cheers to weird families, guys. Okay, so
youngest of 7.
Let's
and
keep
I don't
it rolling.
have any full brothers and sisters.
There was the Sal and Sandy show. I love the Sal and Sandy show.
I love those shows. Lots of music.
And there's the tiny Mike Rita poster if you saw in the code. Yeah. So it's kind of anyway.
And if you go on Joe Rogan's show, she got a really big shout out on the episode that they're talking about Seth Rogen's gravity bong that cost so much money that he bought.
Oh, I remember that.
And so he goes into where they were talking about where was the weirdest place you ever did a comedy show, and guess where it was? Bahamas. And they even had a shot. They used the scene of when the Sheik.
Oh my God!
Was there that night. And
I wish I had Johnny here to do the tech to show.
Yeah.
the Chic when he was there.
And the Chic.
I wanted to show stuff like this online, like I usually do.
They did. They showed that part of the skit on that podcast, and you could hardly see them from the smoke.
If you go onto my YouTube, I have all of those clips. Though.
Oh, neat.
I could just show.
Anyway,
them.
that was a great night because we went out back and in the green room.
Oh my god!
And
it was like
these guys.
I was still to this day. I was like, was that a dream? Did that day happen? Joe Rogan just like pack my place for one night and just like make jokes about my smoky room.
Yeah.
For like years on his podcast. Bit honored. I also think, what our perspective is what we can get away with.
Yes.
And what their perspective. So the comedians from out of town will come in and be like, what the flying fuck is going on in here? And we'd be like, what? We do this all the time. Like, you want some?
You're not censored. There was no censorship.
None. Like I might heckle you from the back.
Some of the things that Boyd Banks.
Oh my God. Goodness. Well, we're getting into Boyd. Look at this. Look who's on the next page.
Of course.
Okay, so first, before I have Boyd, I have these two posters here. Scott Thompson, you can't see his face, and Mike McDonald, rest in peace, Mike.
Yeah.
So I would bring in good acts like that were big and local.
Yeah,
and awesome.
I remember he came to
Mike
the
McDonald.
Lithuanian.
Yep, he came to my hall a couple times.
And
but he liked it because I had an uncensored room.
Yeah, and I had been sitting at the comics table, and I left, and he saw I had a different joint case at the time, and he looked at it and opened it, and he was quite impressed.
Because you always have a million pre-rolls.
My pre-rolls. So
like, and he probably made this face. This is such a typical Mike.
Oh yeah, he was such a
great
gentleman. He was a wonderful Canadian rep of comedy. Okay, he made it big. This guy, check him out.
Anyway, love Mike. Okay, so next, also love. This was a fundraiser that was going on for Joanna Downey, who is a comedian who produced a lot of like unfiltered comedy shows. So she was legendary to comedians because of what she produced and what, anyways, when she got sick, these comedians held a fundraiser for her, and we called it Magic Boyd. And you remember Magic Mike show? So I did this poster, and I just hacked the Magic Mike poster, and then I stuck all the comedians' faces on that are going to strip for her, and I put it up. Anyway, that spawned though, and there's a bunch of posters here too, just like a whole slew of, after she passed, I was like, boy, that was genius. Like, we just love comedians stripping is hilarious. You don't mind the naked because they're being so goofy and fun. It's not like strippers come at you, it's so.
The funniest acts I have seen are these guys stripping.
Well,
and then tripping over their pants.
They can't get their pants off right. They're way off time for the music. Then you pick this music to strip to. You're like, that's your makeup. And it all worked because of that, because they're not anyway. So the guys, so he gave us permission to continue the shows. I was like, okay. Anyway, so this is one we did with Joanna Downey, or after Joanna Downey, that we did with Leanne Milan, and we called it Cocktoberfest. And we had all these fine acts stripping. And we still gave, this was before Joanna. Yeah, this was towards Joanna.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm on high as fuck after week. Trying to remember shit. I'm like, is this before or after? No, I had it in chronological order because I organized it when I wasn't stoned. Anyway, and then we kept doing them, and they were hilarious. I think it was one of my favorite nights is watching these guys keep do it.
Did you know that?
She was on The View.
On The View, yeah. Oh, she was ended up in the finals of
that was another one
teaching comics.
That was a fun poster.
It was that one.
Warren was on it, but I had a Santa grabbing his junk. Anyway, I had a birthday one too. I couldn't find it. Okay, so this is some of the posters from some of the big shows we used to bring in. So, if you guys remember Big J Okerson, big dude from New York, very rude and funny, has a legendary podcast called Legion of Skanks. There's another poster behind it. I'm not going to pull it out. It says that the Legion of Skanks were there doing a
Dave
podcast. I'm going to
Smith?
find that podcast. Oh, Dave Smith
Yeah.
and Louis J. Gomez. Ta-da. Anyway, oh, it's that one. Well, yeah, this is when E-Zone came out. You remember that guy?
Yeah.
E-Zone came with Jason Rouse. E-Zone's from the States, too. This same crew.
Jason Rouse.
God, they smoke a lot of weed, though. But
I saw Jason in the park last year. Is the last time I saw him.
He's in Texas now.
In Texas?
Yeah.
Good for him.
Okay, so this is
That was
when we
soon.
had Robert Kelly. Robert Kelly is awesome. You remember him? He's from New York, too.
Yeah.
God, I love that guy. He's not a weed smoker, but he was like, I love your people.
Yeah, because we're all weed smokers.
Okay, so when we had Duncan Trussell and Rory Scovel,
A lot of big names.
we smoked these guys out. Rory came back a few times after that. He's like, I love this place. He's got a new special that I just watched.
Really?
Oh my God, I got to segue for a moment because I found my doppelganger sister brother club down in the States somewhere. I'm gonna have to contact this dude. But okay, so I watched the Rory Scovel special. Okay, and this guy, like right off the bat, he's being interviewed. This guy owns the space, and he's like, so how did you get this venue? He said, I stole it. And I was immediately drawn in, of course. And then he tells the story of how, he just basically, it was abandoned and he got a hold of the keys and he just like he kicked all the homeless people out and boarded up the
holes
and just started throwing shows in there. And that went on like underground for quite a long time. And then I guess he had to close for a little bit and then, maybe legitimize it or something. I don't know. He was closed for a couple of years. It says on his website.
Yeah.
And then he reopened and it's fucking slick. And, just like everything's black.
Yeah.
The stage is lit up. I'm like, oh, great.
Nice.
And Roy Scovel did a special there recently. All improv, unwritten special. He's going up with no material in this awesome
That's
club.
Sandra Battellini.
What was this club called? Relapse. It's called Relapse, this club. Relapse. But watch the Rory Scovel special. It's good. Sorry, Sandra what?
Sandra, off the cuff. She's amazing. Sandra Battellini?
Oh, Sandra Bunny. Oh, off the cuff. Yeah. Well, that's what he did. A lot of crowd work and a lot of just... Rory's just off in space sometimes. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
This was a... Blair Streeter used to bring me crazy, awesome shows. So he had a hypnotist, a burlesque girl, and Andre Arruda was on that one. Remember Andre? Sorry, all these dead people were showing you, eh?
Yeah, he was the
Andre
guy
would have liked that joke.
In the wheelchair.
Yep.
Right? And electrical. He had osteogenesis.
And this is Ben Kronberg from the States as well. He was a great guy. Came up a couple times. Yeah, Andre was, I liked him. He was bitter, but it was good. Okay, so where are we at? Oh, shit, suddenly. Okay, so for 5 years I put on a festival. It was kind of fun.
Mary Shapiro.
I don't have anything from that. Okay, I have a stack of posters, though, that I can't find because they're in storage. They're all signed. So I'm like, all the big ones?
Yeah. You put them in storage.
No, I know where there are. They're in a closet in, like, those big art.
I suggest
I'm like,
you go
Naomi's
get them.
here.
Go get them.
Fuck it. Ari Shafir's been here a bunch of times.
Yes. He used to bring me.
I love that guy.
They made a fruit leather in California infused with
That's
cannabis.
right. I forgot about that.
And he brought them for me. They were like Listerine strips. Do you
Hi,
remember
Amber.
Listerine strips?
Amber says hi.
Hi, Amber. So, yeah.
I forgot about them, and he snuck them across the border.
And he gave them to me. I was so...
I should have wore the shirt that he gave me. That would have been a fun shout out.
Yeah.
I'll never forget, like, if those don't know, Ari Shavir is, like, very to the point, and he's, like, kind of mean sometimes, but if he likes you, it's different anyway. So I have it on video, actually, this whole show.
Yeah.
One day I should get his permission to release it. But he started going off about how, I got these t-shirts for sale and none of you are getting it. I want fucking $20 each. I'm a Jew. I'm not taking, no one can trade. No, forget it. And I was like, I want to buy one Ari from me from the back. And he's like, oh, for you, Joe, you can just have it. In front of everybody. I was like, yeah, wasn't mean to me, motherfuckers. Anyway, yeah, that was a fun night when we videotaped it that night too.
Yeah.
And
he was a great guy. He quite a lot came along with Rogan quite often, did he not? Was he not in the
that's
that
one of the
circle?
crew that helped
Yeah.
draw Rogan in.
Yeah.
Is because Ari been coming. A lot of the comics that I mean, like basically there was 3 producers that would bring shows. So Rob Mayu
Yeah.
would bring shows.
He was Pumpkin, wasn't he, when he started?
We're not allowed to say Doug Pumpkin. For a little while, he had a stage name. At one point, he was fat. He's no longer fat. He doesn't like it.
And he's a success.
I like that he uses his real name. Anyway, he's in the States now and doing his thing down there. But he used to bring me a lot of like these names, and he would target, acts that were about to explode.
Mm-hmm.
Just, we can get them now, but in like a year or two, it's going to be expensive or they're going to blow up. I know these guys are, and he was pretty good at predicting that. Also, Empire Comedy, very good at that same thing, would target that similar.
Yeah.
Would often have a bit of a cleaner market, so he would. His people would be surprised at the weed smoke when they go, oh shit.
Yes.
And then we can't forget High on Trees, Joe DiCito.
Oh, yeah.
Joe brought me the smokiest Joes of all.
Yes.
You know that I had. Oh, there's one of his right there. I guess it was hidden behind the Rory poster.
High on Trees.
So he'd make these posters. You guys remember this? This is Felipe Esparza. Felipe was very at home when he was there. He was like, oh, I like this place.
Mm.
And just smoked the whole time he was there.
Blended.
No, I think he even asked to take one of the club bongs home to the hotel. He's like, can I take one? I'm like, take a bong. If you can get a fucking bong away in the hotel. I don't care if they give us a cleaning jar.
Oh, he used to sit in the corner, in the dark corner.
Savio?
Yes.
Oh, a little bit.
Yeah. When I see this picture, because I'm looking at it upside down, I said, what, Savio?
That angle too, maybe, but there you can see Savio's leaner. Yeah. It's the hair.
Not
anyway.
Fabio.
Savio. Savio's probably maybe watching.
Hi, Savio.
Or Savio.
I just gave you a really good compliment.
You have luscious hair. Okay. They were good times though. Whew. I'm getting emotional.
Here we go.
Okay, so the last one is just all posters of the festivals we went to.
Yay.
So for like 5 years, I ran my own festival, Puff Jam. There's one of the posters of one of the years. Is that the first? This is the first year. So I think like probably, I was seeing it. Oh, Charlene's on. Hi, Charlene.
Hi, Charlene. You coming this weekend? Yes.
Yes, hi, ladies, she says. Anyways, we used to party with these guys at this other festival. You weren't even there. Why are you saying? Okay, so Hempfest was where we originally would be. There's a poster from that from years ago. I don't know where my original posters are. This is just what I had here. Oscar.
The Hempfest that she had on the farm where
Puff Jam.
Yes, it was Puff Jam. Not the farm that had the produce. It was the buddy that had that great big barn and the didgeridoo guy that year.
Oh, that was way down in the Amish country?
Yeah. The open
that
field.
Was Kyle.
And Grandma G came out and didn't see my cot tent, thought I was off in the cornfield. Somebody had moved me, and actually I was in the house sick as a dog. I decided to have a yes day. I said yes to everything. And if you had known what was going around that day, you would have said, Naomi, you are a fucking idiot. And I was so sick. But I do remember the guy, Bobby Knuth, doing comedy on a trampoline.
Okay.
Do you remember that?
Okay, I have to just tell it from my perspective just because it's hilariouser. Okay, so I was in the barn taking care of someone who stupidly took drugs from someone he didn't know and didn't tell that person that he also was on other, basically he took Molly and then he took some shrooms from someone. Okay, so it wasn't that bad. But he didn't tell the person that he got shrooms from that he'd already acted. So he was having a bit of a hole and I was talking him down. Long story short, I just hear someone coming from around the corner. Joey, fuck, they broke your trampoline, which was just a small trampoline she was explaining we put out. People would jump on it. And then I come around the corner. Nope. There's Bobby Knuff in gold lame shorts. Okay, we're camping in Amish country in a fucking cornfield, okay? And Bobby's in gold lame shorts and he's got like a cape around, like Superman, like a superhero cape on of Superman, I think. No, Spider-Man cape. And he's jumping on the trampoline. He's juggling. He's got 3 balls juggling. He's jumping on the trampoline in the gold lame shorts and the cape and telling his jokes that he usually tells. And everyone was yelling, joke trampoline, joke trampoline, joke trampoline. And then we all burst out laughing when we realized that no one broke the trampoline. It's now a thing called joke trampoline. So every time we would have this festival, like we bring that, and at some random point, comics would jump on it and shell jokes. It was just never like that time, like just coming upon Bobby.
This is going
doing
on.
Like 5 things.
There's a guy
Mars. Oh, I just called him Mars.
There's a guy rolling around on the ground, blowing on this didgeridoo.
Oh yeah.
And every time he'd blow, he'd end up howling and rolling around the ground in laughter. And then
I think the didgeridoo guy was getting people to put their ears to the bottom of the didgeridoo.
Really? I was too
tired
to notice that.
2 a.m, so everyone's just like tuned on whatever. It's a festival. And this guy's like, put your ear at the bottom. And he's like, wah, wah, wah. Whatever. It's like, my mind is blown. I just listened to him didgeridoo on acid at 2 a.m. It's fucked up. It was this far.
Oh my God.
Long story short.
Is
can't wait till festivals start up again.
Yes.
We're not that irresponsible.
Well, I've got my tickets for Harvest.
Oh, I just want to see a bonfire.
I'll come to my house.
I don't know if I can handle like a festival
Saturday night.
right now, like a big one.
I'm having a fire in my backyard this weekend. We can have it after your show if you want.
We'll see. Oh, I'm usually exhausted. I have all this equipment I got to drag away. We'll see. I don't know. Let's go out in the country, okay? There's people
we can't
from the country. Yes, we can. Can we
How
leave?
Are we gonna get there?
Okay, well, that's another conversation.
Because I actually have a bonfire in my backyard ain't bad.
Okay, that was some of my trip down memory lane.
Yes.
Bonfire. Okay, remember, were you there at Hempfest when they burned the shitters? Were you there? Okay, so one year at this festival we would go to, Hempfest, they decided that they hadn't been used for a year, okay? It's just they hadn't been touched. They weren't like fresh shitters. And it was only the wood part on top, not the bottom part. Anyway, segue back to the story. They decided to make a bonfire out of the wood from that. And they piled them on top. And the fucking bonfire was like, so you couldn't see human beings on the other side. You couldn't go within.
I remember that. Yeah,
and I remember this giant rainfall came down at one point. The fire was so huge and so hot. You'd see the rain come down and then immediately get evaporated by the bonfire. And you're like, I can see why, in heathen times when all you had was the bonfire, you make it big because you stay dry. Anyway, it was great. Huge
Saturday
fire.
Was the mud fest.
And then there was this huge rainfall and there was mud everywhere and people were sliding. I remember people though, like doing donuts in their cars and they were like in the mud was
and the 4-wheelers.
God damn. I miss gross things sometimes, like I'm comfortable with this right now, but after 8 months of like, you were given 6 feet, you shall not take any more and you shall not have any less. 6 feet is 6. It is this. It is all these weird
length of a hockey
measurements.
stick. 2 geese.
2 geese.
Wingspan of 2 geese.
No, 1 geese.
1 goose. 1 geese.
No, I think geese would be a little longer than us.
The year that Brian O'Gorman went up, you were at that one, and I had my van, and I brought.
We were drinking blue juice.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Anyways.
Mushroom tincture.
Yeah. You should do that again.
My God, it was beautiful because it didn't hit hard.
Yeah, it was just lovely.
Okay, well.
Anyways, but Brian, I had made these macaroons, which are chocolate coconut thingies, and Brian O'Gorman and I had tripped through the campsite selling them during the day and meeting everybody.
God, that was like a billion years ago.
I know, and we got really high.
Brian was like 18, and 19 when we took him up there too.
Yeah, Butterfly was with us.
Oh yeah, she took that journey up.
Yeah, and Butterfly.
I think I might have drove up with her that year.
Yeah, I think you did. She came into my car. So the three, because what happened was Brian didn't have a tent. So I had
I'm going to put you in the way. Go lay down.
I had a tent, but it had been used and they forgot to put the poles back in with the tent. So I strung the front part of my tent.
God, I wish I could show the picture
of my.
I don't know how to do it.
Car, which was what are they called? And I had the back open.
Hatch.
Yeah, the back hatch of the car was open.
She made a tent out of her car.
Yeah, and Grandma D let me borrow. She had these old tent poles. Well, it was great. O'Gorman had his air mattress and sleeping bag and everything on the floor.
And you were up in the car.
And I was up in the car.
This big dome.
And he had this lovely space. Well, Saturday morning, tornado or whatever it was, it hit every Saturday at our Hemp Fest and knocked the friggin' tent down. O'Gorman had to crawl in with me. That, like, the tent was history. So we had to spend the rest of the weekend sleeping together.
That weekend.
Anyways, so we're in my car. Brian and I are lying on the back in the air mattress. I had my dog Chang with me, who had one seat, and Butterfly had the other. And this young girl, that was that the year that Charles came up and was. Oh, there's so much.
There's so many. This is why I made a thing. It was like, look, it has a date. I was like, look how long it was. It's the date. It's on there.
Anyways,
I got a thing.
This girl.
I did too much weed, did not remember any of it. That's why you're here.
And she says, I fell and I hurt my ankle.
Okay, segue.
Okay.
You didn't say to the crowd that she had all weekend long had this sign, nurse on duty, and various people were helping, asking simple questions. Yeah. But at certain point, you got to eat some acid Saturday night. And so it was like super into the morning, like 2 a.m. The rain had come, the sign had fallen over, and this girl had remembered this sign. And now you can continue.
She comes up and she says, excuse me, I fell and I hurt my ankle. What should I do? And I said, take 2 hits of acid and call me in the morning. She said, but I only have 1. I said, take it.
She did, though, and came back and thanked you, didn't she?
Yes.
Oh, my God. Well, anyway.
We had so many good times. I have no regrets, It's been a great ride.
No, man. You got a chance to have some fun in life, take it. Because the people that don't, they have regrets later.
Well, most people at my age
you have amazing stories.
Home, sheltered. They're relying on their friends who are dying off. Like a lot of the men that I have dated and have been in my life are now gone. And it's hard to accept sometimes, like, shit, it's me next.
We're all gonna go. Fuck.
Oh, we all have to go.
We don't even know when.
But I don't want to leave a vacuum behind, like in the sense that there's nothing to remember me by. So one of my friends in Nova Scotia, her name is Mousy, she told me that she will be writing my obituary. So every time I have anything interesting in my life, I send her a note saying you can add this to my obit. We have a great laugh about it.
Oh my God. I think it's gonna have to be point form your obit because
this is your birthday, isn't it? Those pictures?
Yeah, these are on the wall here, but they were on the wall at the club, but they're good memories.
Yeah.
This was a birthday party that I had. I just was a simple birthday show. I don't know if anyone can see.
I took this picture.
I think Zoe did.
No, I did.
Well, it doesn't matter because legends are in it. Hold on. So this one was my birthday show, and basically we just had a comedy show, and I just invited all my friends. And I was kind of bummed that year. I don't remember why I was bummed, but it's just sometimes you're bummed at your birthday. And everyone came, and we had cake and had a good show. And then after the show, they're all hanging out a little longer and a little longer and a little longer. And Boyd was really drunk, and he kept saying, like, I'm going to get you fucking laid. I'm going to fucking get you laid. And then
told me too.
You could hear people going, shh, 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 like, and I was like, what's the fuck? Nothing's going on. Like, don't worry. We're just fucking with you. So I didn't really clue in. And then suddenly Tracy Curling, who's in the picture too, Tracy comes out from the hallway and she's like, yo, Joey, you better come out. There's a fucking cop out here. And I go out and he fake arrests me. Long story short, I sort of fell for it because he's like, what? No, what? No, what? And then Tracy pulls out a wad of cash. Turns out he's a stripper. Strip for us, terrible strip job, great gag, fucking great gag.
Great gag.
Terrible stripper. Oh my God.
It was the same one I had.
So this is his jacket. And I took it off, and he wouldn't at all. We turn off your cameras. So we turn off your cameras. I think we got two photos snapped off.
And this one is a great one.
And then this was
it was her show.
These comics were on it. Anyway,
yeah.
So that's Saint Stella in the center there. I don't know. Should I censor it? No.
Yeah, no.
And who's in there? Chris Bonaparte. That's Dan Peters, guys. Like, look closely. No hair, Dan Peters, with like no beard and no beautiful mustache. Just Dan, naked Dan.
Father Dan.
There's Boyd Banks. Still looks the same. That's Blair Streeter. And this guy, Ron, he's rest in peace. Ron used to come to the club a lot. He was a grower. He was a wildcat too.
Yep.
Anyway, they all took their shirts off. They were like, well, Stella's got the shirts off. And then all the comics started taking their shirts off.
Yep.
So
that was a good night.
And then this other photo, if you remember, guys, one of the best shows that happened at the Underground was the Open Mic Comedy Show. So this is a photo from one of the best ones, and they're all dressed in what's called a sweatcedo. Naomi's got one, and it's basically a leisure suit, and they all got their names on it in the front and on the back. Anyway, but these all some legendary comics in there. Who's in there? Well, Rob Pugh, Hunter Collins, K. Trevor Wilson, Rob Bebenek, Christoph Davidson. That's Jared Campbell, that's Ian Gordon, and Jeff Elliott, and of course Jeff and Kira in the corner. Jeff Paul ran a fabulous show, and then right before COVID, like a couple of months, he was like, yeah, it's kind of hard to get people out, and now without the smoking, it's kind of hard. We had just like the show kind of died, and we just weren't allowed to smoke suddenly after legalization. So, and then COVID hit. So I'm going to blame it on COVID because I think we could have revived the show.
We got to write that song, okay? Blame it on the COVID. Be a great.
So many
great
COVID
Western.
songs have been written. Fuck.
I know.
I want to hear the bits. Anyway.
It's
Oh my
like life
God.
is like a country music song.
Some of the legends that would come in that Jeff would bring in, the idea was that it was an open mic for pro comedians to just try out their material. In fact, there was only 2 times my parents ever came out to the club. One of them was when Scott Thompson came. The first time Scott came a bunch of times after that. And then when Jeff Paul had Steve Patterson on, because they just love the debaters.
I love Steve Patterson.
So my parents are like, okay, we're coming down for Steve Patterson. I think Scott Thompson's my favorite famous person that came through.
Yeah,
okay.
He was such a gentleman.
Were you going to tell a story? Because I have a tell a story.
Oh, I was just talking about Wednesday night, a lot of the comics who were going to Montreal.
Oh, the Just for Laughs Festival.
Just for Laughs. Yeah. They try all their material out on us on Wednesday night.
Before they had it off.
Before they went to Montreal. So we got for a measly, what was it, $5 or 10? We put it up to $10.
I put it up to 10 just so that we could try and at least.
Normally, if you went to see that quality of show, you'd be paying $150.
Actually, we put it up to 10 after legalization because like we didn't have all these people coming in and we needed to be able to get something. It's like still an amazing show.
It's still I only missed it because I was in hospital. So.
Well, what are we going to do? We're going to bring it back in the future. It'll come back. Okay, so the story I was going to tell, and this involves you and Kim. So the first time Scott Thompson ever came in the club, and I remember being so excited that Scott Thompson, holy fuck, Kids in the Hall, holy fuck. Yeah. Like I grew up watching Kids in the Hall. It was played on our house. Like TV came at a certain time, guys. Okay, so you had to be there. And then my dad was always pretty pronto about like making sure, you know, he was an on-time kind of guy. But then when certain characters would come on, he would yell from the house. He did this with other shows too. And we'd all come running and watch the bit or watch.
My parents loved Kids.
So that's why they came down for to see Scott Thompson. It was like, Jesus Christ, you got him in? Fuck yeah. Anyway, so I'm at the end of the night and like the place had been packed and it was so smoky and there was a ton of people. I remember sitting at the bar and I'm looking and there's nobody in the club. And Scott Thompson's sitting with Naomi and Kim, just talking away, smoking more weed. And I remember being like on my last feet, so exhausted, and be like, how do you tell Scott Thompson to leave? Like, you can't. You can't fucking tell Scott Thompson to leave. You gotta fucking get up. And I remember just like getting up and like, just join him. So I just sat down with you guys.
Yeah, that was a lovely evening.
And it was only like another half hour, 20 minutes, half hour, but it was amazing. And I'm so glad that it was like, no, you find the strength because that man's been very good to me since.
You know what I always enjoy is getting a laugh out of a comic.
He's very East Coasty.
Yeah.
He's got that same kind of humor and no, but he's got that same way of communication and I can't explain. I just called it East Coasty. That's very
we
general.
Build up for
anyway. But here's another story though. The last time I saw Scott Thompson, he was filming in Toronto something. He's in LA now, guys.
Yeah. He was Criminal Minds. One of those shows. Yeah. Okay,
so he was filming a scene for probably this show, maybe here in Toronto, and they put him up just randomly at the Broadview Hotel where Jilly's used to be. It's like it's kind of a nice hotel now. But they put him up there and he was sitting in his hotel room. He's like bored. He's like, oh, fuck. Oh, underground. And he just walked down the street and he just came up, said hi to me at the bar and got a drink and sat down at the comics table. And I remember the comedian that was on there, it doesn't matter who, just was like, oh my God, Scott Thompson's here. Like, should I ask him to do a set? I'm like, I don't. I think he's just here to hang. I don't think he's here to ask for a set. But he asked anyway, and Scott Thompson was like, no way, man, I'm here to hang. And I was like, yes. Because that was to me a compliment. I'm like, comedians of importance want to just hang here. Like, that's it was a big,
it was
and it happened a lot, but that was like a clear, like, no, he came here because he felt safe.
Yes.
He could smoke a joint.
Yeah. It was a comics comedy club. Like, just for, what's the name of the place, the high-end place where they pay people to come to?
Huh?
Oh, the one on King Street.
Yuck Yucks?
Yuck Yucks, yeah.
I don't know if they pay well.
Well, I don't know, but it's not a comics comic until the curtains close.
Mm-hmm.
And you go in the back and you smoke weed. But then again, you have to know the comics, right? So.
Well, anyway.
It's a hard hit industry. Hard hit industry.
We got to get comedy back.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like I wanted to sit and remember that, I did make a tiny mark, I think. I did feel that, like, the last 13 years of my life weren't for nothing, and I had some fun.
You think about it.
Because this year really graded it down. I'm like, I am nobody.
I'll give you a memory.
I am a speck of dust in the universe to zero amount of time.
I will give you a memory that will make sure that you will remember. K-Trev and had just finished the set, and we were all mingling around, and I was trying to get out. And there was something about this man that struck me, and I turned to K-Trev and I said, that man is going to be important in your life. He said, yes. He's just asked me to play in the Winnipeg a comedy festival, and that's where K-Trev started. He got his break from your club.
Oh, I don't know. I think he earned that. He worked hard for his break.
He did, but he was also a kid actor.
He worked so hard for what he got.
Yeah, he's a
guys, watch Letterkenny, okay?
Yeah. K-Trev is an honest comedian. His comedy comes from his life, and that's where you can get most.
He's genuine.
He's genuine. Like, there's no.
He's never mean to anybody in the crowd, ever.
And his latest.
You can't heckle him. It's impossible.
You can't.
You're so engrossed in his storytelling that it's just all you can do is go right on, bro. Like.
Well, the last set I saw him in was at your place.
He's genius.
And he was talking about becoming diabetic and having to change his diet, and he
did though.
He was like,
and Marissa, meeting Marissa, I think is really his girl, like, has been he life changing. Those two together.
He used that to make the funniest comedy routine. It was just the way that you look at things. Like his having to deny himself of certain things. He felt like an Olympian, or conquering this.
Well, so one of my favorite memories of K-Trev, and one day I'll get it out of him, but many moons ago, I had a birthday roast, and a bunch of comedians for my birthday roasted me one by one. It ended up being a 3-hour show, and partway through, you got to pee. The underground's like, as you guys remember, the bathroom was right there, like right there. And as I'm going into the bathroom, they freaking call up K-Trev, and I was like, well, I've got to go now. So I'm in the bathroom, and I can't hear what he's exactly saying. So I finally finished what I'm doing, and I go out, and everyone's laughing at me. I'm like, oh, you missed a good one. You missed a good one. I was like, what? He's like, oh, he roasted you good. Oh, he roasted you real good. Oh, he'll tell you. And then later he wouldn't tell me. He's like, I don't know, Joe, you missed it. Sorry, too late. You were peeing. And then, like, I don't know, a couple years ago, but at least 10 years later, somebody says to me, maybe while you were in the bathroom, he just quietly on the mic said, okay, when she comes out, let's just say we got you. And I said, okay, everyone in on it. I was like, oh man, that's something he would do. Yeah. I would never, 10 years later, it just, someone's like, maybe, like, fuck, that's probably what he did. I'll get him to admit it one day. Because I've asked him point blank, he's like, I'll never tell. But if I tell him, if I'm like, okay, at this point, like, did you do this? It was the best gag I ever got. Fucking 10 years later.
God. And
Anyway, whatever.
the young comic was a young kid. He was Mike Rita. He was friggin' underage when he did his first
The comic, the young kid, you know, who's a father now. You've been on his podcast with far more viewers than mine. The weed. It's the weed, guys.
It's the weed.
Okay, we all know exactly. Mike Rita, shout out, awesome kid too.
And he got a lot of his first starts at Joey's.
Okay, let's just list them all off. First starts. Paul Thompson, Chris Robinson. They were so young when they started.
Yes.
And they rap Poetic Justice.
What was Feldman?
Sam Feldman. 17 when he came in. Parents' permission.
Who else was? Oh, geez, there's tons of them.
Hey, shut up. Well, Brian O'Gorman, somewhat.
Yes.
I think he was, several venues were responsible for that.
Yeah, he was really, really young when he started.
18.
Yeah.
Because I remember he started doing shows when we did those Latvian shows before the club. And he was just like, what the fuck is this place? He's just fresh 19 years old.
Yeah.
Walking into these madness.
He handled it well.
All right.
He did his set on his back on your stage. He's really
Dave Merhesh. You bring up the anxiety attack first, not his brilliant comedy, Dave Merhesh.
It was brilliant. He was
okay. So backtrack. When we first got an email and dabs in the club, and everyone was doing dabs. I don't fucking do dabs anymore. Fuck dabs.
No.
But they're fun once in a while. It's like, I don't do shots every day. I'm not going to sit and do shots. But you know what? Once in a while, maybe in a club, I might have a shot. That's how I am with dabs. But not then. Everyone was dabbing and it was crazy. But Merhesh walked in and he was doing a show for Boy Banks. This is a high anxiety person. Now I'd be like, no fucking way. Don't give that guy a dab. But we did. We let him have a dab. And then he's on the stage and the dab hits and he's suddenly like shaking and he's like, guys, I can't handle this. I can't. And Boyd yells from the back, just lie down. So he does. He lies down on the stage and he's got the microphone. Okay, now what do I do? It won't go away. I'm still anxious. Boyd, help me. He did his set lying down and we were laughing our fucking heads. It was brilliant. No segue though. He had anxiety for 2 straight weeks and almost went into a mental institution.
From that dab.
From that single dab.
And it was his first dab and the person that gave it to him was irresponsible and overloaded him.
Now to Merhesh's credit, he doesn't hate the weed community for doing that to him.
No.
He was like, no, that was this one time. I just had too much. It was this one circumstance.
And he now uses it
now
as part of his comedy.
Well, God, that was a crazy night, but I'm glad he got through it. And I'm glad he recognizes that sometimes it's irresponsible. To me, it's like saying to someone who's never had coffee, I'm like, oh, you never had coffee? Here's a pot. Drink the whole thing at once. This is going to be great.
Here, have this caffeine capsule.
Just to me, it's just we're much better in culture now. This is also like 20 years ago. Okay, guys, like 15 years ago.
When it was illegal. Very, very, very illegal.
Okay, anyway, that was crazy. And we love Merhesh.
And I should have been arrested many times.
Look him up, guys. He's kind of famous now. I should get him on.
Yes.
I haven't had him on in a while.
And he was just a young kid when he came too. Because a lot of them came from the school. What's that university?
Humber School of Comedy.
Yeah, from Humber.
Yeah.
So they come down and do their
That was a good program because it helped teach them the skeleton of what to do.
Yeah,
and the jokes, they don't teach you how to make comedy. No. They teach you how to structure it.
Yes.
And how to succeed in it. And, you can either take the suggestions and go or not, like any.
Because O'Gorman came out of there.
Jason Rouse, K-Drove.
Yeah.
I can name off a bunch if I
Yeah.
wasn't so high.
And a lot of
Like
them,
a
like
lot
in,
though.
why aren't we mentioning the bouncy guy on the trampoline?
Huh?
my brain is not bringing up
Bobby
names.
Knuff?
Bobby Knuff.
Bobby Knuff is brilliant.
He was a
Hi,
kid.
Bobby. Bobby worked for me hard for a long
Yes.
time.
But he was also young.
You guys
when he
get
came.
smoky in here, right? I drank all my iced tea and now I want more.
Go get more.
I might go get more. But we probably should wrap up in about 10 minutes or so. So you rambled. Do you want some iced tea? I mean, fresh iced tea.
No, I
It's
have
iced tea
my
season. Squeeze a
ice
lemon.
water. So.
No squeeze a lemon on. Actually, I used up all the lemon in the iced tea. Guys, it's been a great memory lane.
Yes. And
Let me
like
tell you.
some of the sets that I've witnessed at that club, in one, the first club that she opened, the one that the police entered, Brian
One time
O'Gorman.
for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know. Brian
You
O'Gorman.
never had trouble, guys.
Brian O'Gorman did a full Monty show. Okay. And another time at the Latvian Hall, they had this whole burlesque skit, this whole play with O'Gorman had this, it was based on I've got an ear for a dick. I want that to be brought back, okay? O'Gorman,
I
if you're
asked
watching,
him and he said, okay, he lost the ear.
he lost the ear.
Okay, so guys, he had this giant plastic ear, and basically he had clothes on, and I think he was playing a Santa. I don't know how he segued into the strip part, but when he took his clothes off, he had taken this giant plastic ear and put all his junk into this
ear.
And then he's like, I have an ear for a dick. I have, and he did this whole routine around. And somehow he got the shade of the ear right to his own skin. It was just random. Anyway, he lost the ear in life because he travels a lot.
Yeah.
He said, no, I thought about that a lot. He's like, I'm thinking of getting a custom made ear.
He should.
He's like, because that one was really uncomfortable. It's something I could have one that tucks properly.
This was in front of, this Latvian Hall was full. It was jammed because you served a meal that year.
Some years I did, or some shows I did, some shows I didn't.
Because she had
some shows I couple with other people.
She had a cash bar. She had.
I didn't do anything I want. Once I realized that, I'm like, okay, that's private property.
Yeah.
And okay, if the guy who owns the place is there or manages the place, is there on property and doesn't give a fuck what we do, he's not going to call anyone. It's big enough that the sound isn't going to piss anyone off where it was. Anyway, we had great fun there.
Oh yeah, broke a lot of laws.
Oh, nothing. You know, there was no hard drugs ever there.
It was not.
There was
anything
no
that
like
isn't legal now. Okay.
Naked that was like Playboy. All the naked that was there was like childhood fun naked.
It was. This was a whole.
That was the only two things
that had Chelsea in it, and
Chelsea did in it too,
and Pixie. Jennifer Pixie.
I think so.
Yeah.
I can't remember. There was another guy too. I can't remember who. Brian, remember. And we're taking up all this podcast about Brian and his ear for a dick. He put on great shows, guys. But also, Brian was extremely funny.
Yes.
He would bring us like, he was punkadelic, psychic something show. He brought me once where all these, like a really crazy comic. There was a burlesque girl and
Rouse.
Well, Rouse came on his own too. But yeah, he did bring us originally.
Who's the guy with the long dark hair and has this very deep voice and he talks very deadpan? And he opened his closet and he saw 2 dead children hanging there.
John Steinberg.
Yes.
Okay, well, John Steinberg, I've known since, I'm not joking, okay, for long before this, I worked at a comedy club for a year and a half called Comedywood. John Steinberg was pretty much a teenager then with like no hair, and that's where I met him long before that. And he was one of the few comics. Who else do I remember? Paul Haywood from that day. He's still around. And I met Dave Martin at that club.
Yeah.
And then when I stopped working there, I started like, oh, I can put on comedy shows. Fuck. Mine will be a lot dirtier.
Yeah.
And that's how it started. I met the comedy world at this shitty comedy club. God bless. I did love the owner, Boris. Boris the hypnotist was the owner of the Comedy Wood. He was this crazy, awesome, beautiful person that also he was in business partner with this other guy. So one was like the, creative entertainment brains, and one was like the money guy. But Boris was great. I don't know. I get fired, and then the last time I got fired for selling weed to comics. Comics knew that when they come there, they could get a set and score a 20 back off me. I was waitressing there then. So I just, I remember this Boris called me back and he said, okay, you're a really great waitress and we have a big show this week and we really need you. Can we not fire you, but just promise you won't sell weed to comics anymore? And I remember being like a long silence on the phone. Like I was like, how about I not sell weed to comics on your property on my shift? And he went, okay, deal. Can you be here Thursday in your shift? And I was like, done.
That sounds like a title for a movie of some sort.
Well, that was a whole
Boris,
crazy time.
The magician.
The hypnotist.
The hypnotist, owner of...
He wouldn't hypnotise me. I wanted so bad. He'd get like 12 people up on the stage and he'd get them to do fucked up shit. He really was pretty good at it. And but he wouldn't hypnotize his staff in case something happened. He said, no, I don't.
High school.
He doesn't hypnotize close people he knows. He doesn't hypnotize staff. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. He didn't want to have to fire me because I said something stupid. I don't know. Anyway, that was actually a great place to work.
Yeah.
My ex's mother worked there. She got me the job there, Shannon, and she was like the main waitress there. So between her and I, we would hold it down. Anyway, I was a good waitress, but it wasn't my calling.
You need to be the
That's
owner.
what keeps me going, though. It's like, okay, you got to reopen your club. What are you going to go be a fucking waitress again? In some shitty comedy club and go, fuck, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you have great lighting, but yeah.
Who's your recruitment officer?
You call this a menu? Give me your kitchen. Okay, well, that's what my dream is too, to have a good kitchen. So you'll have to make sure that the food is up to spec. What I kind of want to do is have a menu that's set year round. That's very, very simple, based on local ingredients, easy to make. I don't think I want a deep fryer because that stinks, but maybe like a panini grill. I could do baked French fries, popcorn machine, definitely a slushy machine, junk food. But having guest chefs in, guest people coming in, so anyone who wanted to cook a meal and be
I'm kind
the
of
feature. Okay, Oscar's decided to play with a squeaky toy in the middle of the podcast. He was asleep a minute ago.
I was gluten-free for quite a while, and I was hit by the Wonder Bread truck.
I know.
Okay, and it knocked the gluten-free it right out of me.
Suddenly you can eat gluten. And
I had the blood test done, and I'm normal.
I have a feeling that sometimes, like, if you just take something out of your diet for a while, you can have it back again. Because for a long time, I was lactose intolerant. I couldn't handle it. But now, because I took it out of my diet, I can eat ice cream here and there. It's okay. It doesn't hurt.
I'm not a big... I just use cream in my coffee. It's about the only time I'm into
milk.
It tastes different when it's milk.
I'll make sure I have good coffee at the club, too.
Oh.
Fuck. That's the whole idea, is that I thought this podcast would, be good to remember the good times and to think that it can be possible.
Yes, and
I want you to be a big part of
the
it.
new place.
Well, that's going to be a lot of mushrooms.
And if you think about it.
Oh, you mean physically structure it?
Yeah.
I thought you meant I'm like, I need to psychically structure, which is true. You need to, when especially you're opening a business, to write a business plan, you have to write your, okay, you could call it your vision board.
Yes.
My vision board is a different vision board. No, it's like I eat mushrooms. I have these random notes, and I'm not joking. They get pegged to the wall. I might as well draw strings like a crazy person.
If you think about
I do.
All these businesses that have closed because of the pandemic. Are we not recording any longer?
Oh yeah, no, I've seen who's on the thing.
There's going to be all these empty commercial spaces, and they're going to have to drop their rent to get people in.
So, yeah, they already are.
Yeah.
But am I ready now? After the fall,
like
hit, I was like, I would have been fine to reopen in the fall. I had momentum going. But after 8 months of just been like, you suck. You have to sit here. You suck. You can't go anywhere. Your dog's annoying. Look, he's being annoying.
I didn't fall for that. Okay.
No, but I had to, out of respect for Johnny, because of his work. He was working from home, and I just want to.
Well, I decided I am not going to isolate myself. I have to have people around me. So I opened my home.
And you didn't get sick.
Didn't get sick.
I think that there's a certain amount.
With people, but I didn't get sick. I don't get sick. I didn't get the flu.
I also I don't want to say that part of the conspiracy theorists are right, but like the whole thing about like, okay, I knew that there's no way this virus came from nature, and the way that they're reacting is just weird. And it's like, okay, this virus is real. It's hurting people. It's killing people. But this reaction was crazy.
Personally, I think it might be a little
bit the longest lockdown in history.
I probably we're going to get censored for this one.
So far, we haven't. I think I've said so far.
Came out of China on purpose.
No, did you watch the Jon Stewart's on Conan special?
No.
Okay, fucking watch Jon Stewart's rant. It's brilliant.
It's like, look what they had before COVID. There were people rioting in Hong Kong.
Okay, guys, watch the Jon Stewart rant. He literally gets out of his chair, jumping around. He's like so hopping mad, and Jon Stewart's brilliant.
And then the U.S. demands that Canada give them arrest this Huawei or whatever that, because they don't like the Chinese invading their airspace with cell phones.
It goes deep. Okay, I don't even want to get into it.
So we got stuck in the middle in that disaster, and we're still stuck in the middle. So they arrest 2 of our upstanding citizens who are not serving their time in their palatial homes in Vancouver, like the Chinese woman is.
Okay, this is a comedy podcast.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, you're so right, but we gotta keep this a punk. That's why I was like, watch the Jon Stewart rant.
I think
there literally is a factory in Wuhan called the coronavirus factory or something, laboratory. Jon Stewart says it best.
Anyways,
all I'm saying.
Cannabis smokers, we naturally get this RNA carried virus that is in our system, and it was designed to fight other viruses. So
weed smokers
check it out.
Bond. I think weed smokers, it bonds to that thing somehow. The weed, maybe
because the weed. It's called the tomato mosaic virus, and it's indigenous in southern Ontario.
What are you talking about? I thought you were talking about weed smoking.
Yes, and it's in our weed.
Oh.
It's called TMC, and they use it in third world countries to give their people immunity because they can't inoculate. So that's put into their crops, and it was.
Okay, you're making me hit bongs. I'm trying to be funny here.
It's a man-made virus. I'm just spreading.
Okay, all I'm saying is that I'll still wear a mask because I'll protect you even more. Because now I know it's a fucking man-made virus. I'm like, okay, it's
what
even
you're
worse.
Smoking has man-made virus in.
Probably everything I'm smoking.
Mm-hmm.
I smoke cigarettes too sometimes. I'm drink sometimes. Today I'm not drinking.
And
I kind of want a break. But that I don't look into. There's no ingredients on a beer can. 0 ingredients. And guess we're like, sweet. Oh, I like this one. We don't look at the ingredients. Nobody Googles the ingredients on that. Anyone who actually abuses their body doesn't care.
I'm just saying, people who smoke weed, indulge in weed in whatever form you enjoy, are better protected than the average citizen.
For sure. There's so much science behind it.
Yeah.
And when it came out, I was like, oh, yeah, of course. This small, cocky part of me was like, oh, another one. Another thing, it helps.
We don't cost the healthcare system very much money because we don't require it very much unless we get hit by a...
Okay, but all of us are dying for dental because...
Yes.
You're like, look, I don't ever go to the doctor. Can I take that money and give me dental instead? Like, I never go. Look at me.
I gotta go to Mexico to get my teeth done.
That's how I want it. Can we just rack up points of like the times that...
Can we start a GoFundMe page for Naomi? And
GoFundMe kicked me off. I'm banned from GoFundMe for my trying to GoFund for my weed club. Fuck GoFundMe.
GoFundMe for our dental
Straight up e-transfer, baby. Anyone want to pay for new teeth? 2 of us. Cheers to sugar. Cheers. Look at me drinking sugared iced tea too.
And me drinking ice water, and the ice just hit me in the face.
I fucking love iced tea in the summer. Okay, guys. Oh, I still got weed in here. I'm going to just put more weed in it. I'm going to wrap it up. I just want to say to our few watchers that are watching now and to the many that will be watching over the next 24 hours, because that's what usually happens. Thanks for supporting us. I've been saying the light is at the end of the tunnel like this whole time. And now I think like we're at that point where we're peering out and going, ow, my eyes. Like... That's how I feel. Psychically, I'm like at the park, this giant park on Sunday, and everyone's like way far back. I'm like, whew, this is a lot. I'm not joking.
A lot of people ended up coming.
That was good. Yeah. It was about the same amount of people as we got the first time. But guys, this Sunday, it's my birthday. So come to my show at the park. And we have some great comedy lineup. Like, I gotta read off who we got here. This is so good. Who do I got here? Okay. So Sabrina Chavan Douglas is coming out of the woodwork for me.
Coming, yay.
Yeah. I've got Ryan Dillon, Reese Turner, you know Reese.
Yeah.
Olivia Stadler's coming, Fiona O'Brien.
Oh, I love Fiona.
And then what I'm doing at the end is I asked Scarlett Black, since it's going to be right dark then. If you know Scarlett Black, she does a lot of firework. And I told her, I was like, can you fire dance for me? No LEDs or flashing lights, please. And she's like, absolutely. So she's going to come and I said, no stripping, just don't, no burlesque, something fun and with fire. So that's how I'm going to end it, because we can't have fireworks, but we can have some, funky music and someone fire
dancing.
So that's going on Sunday. And then also the following Thursday, I'm starting my weekly show at a secret location that we're not telling people because there's only 24 seats for now. And basically it's an outdoor spot for now until we're allowed indoor shows. And it's a pro only show. That one's going to be crazy fun. $20 a ticket. We can smoke weed there. It's bring your own beer if you want to drink. And until we go inside, then that'll change. But for now, it's basically, we're taking over a back alley. It's not really. It's the side of our building. And we'll have a nice tent there in the system and some pretty lights. But yeah, it'll be fun once we get inside, and you'll see once you get going. But please follow me at Huffmama 420 on Instagram, where I release more details than sometimes on Facebook. I'll release details and then I'll erase them. Go, fuck, why did I say that on Facebook? But I don't know why. I'm fine with on Instagram, which is owned by Facebook, to say it there, but I am. But also, if you really want to be discreet, you can put on my email list, and then I'll just send out a quiet email. You can leave it if you feel paranoid. No, I'll never know. I don't fucking know. I'm high. But it's going to be fun now that shows are here. I feel that within a few weeks I won't be quite so psychically overwhelmed. I'll be right back into the swing of it. But yeah, Thursdays and Sundays now. And Naomi will probably be at most of them.
Yep.
And yeah.
Fucking. Not sure about the.
Okay, I have to tell you the lineup for. Wait a second. The lineup for the 15th. I didn't even say this one. So my second birthday show, the one that's $20. Sandra and Phil are going to be there, and Boyd's going to be there. Kenny Robinson, Andrew Barr is going to be there. Andrew Packer, and I can't remember someone else that booked today. Said yes, they'll be there. I put it on the poster, but not there. Oh, Paul. Fuck. I was like, why didn't I leave? Someone important. Paul Thompson will be on that one.
Oh, good.
So that line is super stacked for the birthday. And Angelica's on that too. I kind of like 8 comics though. And then the park show's got a bunch of really awesome pros too. So I made sure they're really good. Okay, I'm fucking high and babbling.
I think I'm getting my shot that day, my second shot.
Will be the next day that you're feeling shitty.
Okay, so I should be able to go that night then.
If you don't, then we'll forgive you and you can come the next one.
Yeah.
But that'll be the 15th.
Okay. Yeah, that's the day of my shot.
Well, shoot it up, baby. Numbers count at this point.
I didn't have anything for the first one. So
I feel like
I'm getting Moderna this one though.
Yeah, that's what I got the first one.
And
yeah, I got it. I know at the beginning of the podcast I said I'm never doing it, but my mother begged me, and I have to because I love my mother.
Well, I want to travel to Nova Scotia to visit my daughter, and the only way I can get into Nova Scotia is I have to be double vaccinated. So, and I have been vaccinated all my life. Vaccination, in my mind, saved a lot of people from a lot of discomfort, having suffered through measles, mumps, chicken pox. I escaped polio because we weren't allowed to swim at certain times of the year because there's polio.
You didn't have the big fucked up shot that made the big circle in your eye?
Oh, yeah, that's TB.
It's TB. I thought it was polio.
Oh, TB. Yeah.
I got one too.
Polio was under the Salk vaccine. And there was a lot of crap that went on with that. We live in Canada, people. We have far better regulations than the U.S. What happened in the U.S. is they sent out a batch in California that had not a dead virus in it, but a live virus, and it gave a lot of kids got polio. So that's how vaccinations got bad reputation. But in the end, they actually saved a lot more than...
It was the speed in which it came out.
Yeah.
And then now that they admit that it's about the Wuhan Coronavirus Center, I was like, oh, well, they already had it. It's just a matter of getting it out there. So now I'm not so dubious because the vaccine was already there.
Anybody realize...
Oh, it's like every zombie movie I've ever watched, only we wouldn't be zombie. I remember the concert. You know what? I lived in Chinatown East when SARS was going on, and I purposely went shopping, no mask, to show support. Like, I'm not afraid. And I would go in there and I'd be super friendly, and they'd be like, and I thought I'm being respectful by not wearing a mask.
And they think you're
being like, no, I support you. I'm not afraid of getting sick. And they're like, but there's no law then. And they're, in Chinatown East, there's definitely smaller. They're just like so happy that I'm spending $40.
But
that goddamn concert, we need a coronavirus concert. Yes. All vaccinated people, fine. Okay, can I come to the concert? Because that was fucking
it should
great.
Be free. Too.
I was close to the stage. I remember we went super early and like snaked our way through people sitting there.
I went to Nova Scotia,
stepping over people.
City, totally.
Finally found a spot that was no bigger than one of these tables, and 5 of us fucking plunked. And then everyone just kind of moved out. We were like annoyed, and we were like, sorry, we're done. And we were so close. And then fireworks as we were leaving. Oh, it's a beautiful concert.
Yeah, I decided I think I had tickets to this concert, and I decided, no, I'm going to Nova Scotia. So we went down.
You didn't go to SARS?
No. I went down to, I was at The girls, Chelsea and Holly and I were at the SARS concert that they had in the Sky Dome. That concert, the big one at the. It was the one that had the two venues. One was live and the other one was on big screen and they alternated.
Oh, I remember hearing about that. Yeah, I think that was at Sky Dome.
Yeah, I was at.
They used to do that for Raptor shows sometimes too.
I was at.
No man, I was at Downsview.
Yeah, what? Downsview.
It was great. Anyway,
all I'm saying is that
we need one of those. Downview's still there.
Well, they should just
bring umbrellas though, guys.
Bring it to
guys. It was hot.
Bring it to Woodbine Beach so I don't have to go far and I can go home and pee.
No, I want to be with 1,000 people. Like that was what I want to be. I want to.
You could put 1,000 people in that park.
Not like Downsview.
Downsview.
You can cram so many in.
Yeah.
Oh well.
They wouldn't allow that many. Well, like if Toronto
Maple
Leafs, if Toronto Maple Leafs had made it to the Stanley Cup Finals, they would have.
Go Habs.
They would definitely, but they would have said, "Okay, we're open now," because they would not be able to stop the people from being downtown and in that square space.
Do you know what pisses me off about living in this apartment? Is that where I'm living right now is very close to the Eaton Center and all the action and like no pride parade. And I live right here. I'm a block away from Church Street. Yeah. No, I could like hear pride if I was like on my balcony. I could crash here after the party, like, guys, come on back. I'm Dad, so close to pride. And we'd be like, fuck yeah. 20 people come pile into my apartment. Rather than like trying to find a goddamn cab or somehow get it like, oh, we ate too much acid. Fuck. And then, when I was thinking about when the Raptors won and like the whole Dundas Square lit up and people were like climbing on poles. I can see the lights of Dundas Square. Like it's right there.
Yeah.
Fuck, dog. You don't remember any of this.
You were in Cuba. Was it Cuba?
He wasn't even alive. Yes, he's from Cuba. All right. Well, guys, I think it's been a fun podcast. I think we've talked about a lot of memories, a lot of really great memories. And, it feels good to talk about this, Naomi, because some days I just don't feel like I have any hope. And some days I'm like, I feel like I'm super needed. And then I'm like, your ego's too weird. You're not needed. And then it's this bipolar back and forth of like.
How do you think I feel? What do I have to do today? Is there any reason I should get out of bed?
Oh, that's why thankful goddamn dog. Listen to him barking for demands. I need this bark.
I don't even have a dog.
Routine. Get me out.
I'm a grandmother to a dog. And apparently when I leave, she cries. She doesn't cry when they leave.
Hi, Lucy. I'll come visit soon.
Yeah,
now that I'm not as paranoid to be on the bus. There's some, okay, you know what? I'm not fucking crazies on the bus. Holy crap. A lot of crazies. Yeah. And sometimes you just fall into it. Okay, I did a counter crazy though. Here's a quick story before we go off. This is cute. Whenever you get a crazy person, you can always just play counter crazy. Like you're crazier than them crazy. Yeah. So I got on the dog and Oscar is a service dog. He's in training. And so when he's on duty, like meaning no one's with me, I put the vest on in case, I get a seizure, then I can like, the dog, and then they're not going to freak out. Oh, it's a situation that's thought of. Long story short, I get on there and he's got his vest on and this lady, I got my earbuds on. I got music blaring and I just see her. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I hate the hi, what? I need help. Can you help me? Sure. What's wrong? I'm like, the streetcar driver is harassing me and being like, probably not, but why? What would he do? And then she's just, belligerently told me what she belligerently told him and just was like, I need someone to protect me because I think he's going to stop the car and call the security. And I was like, why would he do that? Would you say that for? And then he was just like, well, Anyway, long story short, I can't deal with this lady. So I just said to her, I was like, okay, I can, but I can't get up because my disability. See, I have a lot of disability. Like, see, it says service dog. Oh, you're disabled too? What are you disabled for? Oh, I have epilepsy and stressful situations just cause it right now. So let's hope there's not stressful, or I'll probably have a seizure and not be able to help you. She just was like, oh, okay. And then just like maybe a minute, I look away, I look back, not even a minute. Like I just like looked at something out there. It was like pretty obviously giving her a sign. She was like talking to one person too. I need help. Can you help me? I was like, lady, play the crazy card, figure something out. You could just like, and then suddenly she'll just go deeper. She's nuts. Poor streetcar driver, right?
Yeah.
That's why I don't like the Queen car. Every time I'm on there, something fucked happens. That was on back from the night from you. When I went to hang out with you, it was late at night. She looked normal. She had an Eastern European accent.
Yeah. They'll do.
If you put a kerchief on, she looked just like a babushka.
Yeah.
Like she didn't look like a crackhead. Is all I'm saying. Okay, enough said.
Gerard, that's closer than Dundas.
Yeah, well, we got to end this podcast, guys. Guys, thanks for signing off or saying hi. We're signing off, and we'll see you guys again.
Yes.
Who's
Sunday.
Still on there? I don't even know. There's 3 left. 3 of you left. Watch.
Hey, 3.
Hi, whoever's left. We love you, and we'll see you Sunday or anytime soon.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know how to end this now.